Bedtime stories for kids. Thanks for joining us to listen to this magical story. Before we begin, don't forget to hit subscribe so you never miss a new story. Let's lie back, relax, and get comfortable. In a small village surrounded by towering trees and murmuring streams, there lived a poor woodcutter and his second wife, along with their 2 children, Hansel and Gretel. The village was gripped by a time of famine, and the family struggled to put food on the table. One night, the stepmother, consumed by desperation, convinced the woodcutter that they could no longer afford to feed both Hansel and Gretel. In a heart-wrenching decision, she proposed abandoning the children deep in the forest, far from the village's prying eyes. Hansel and Gretel, huddled together in their little beds, overheard the hushed conversation between their parents. Fearful but resourceful, Hansel decided to collect some white pebbles from the garden to mark their way back home. With the moon casting a soft glow, the children quietly listened, their small hearts pounding as the plan unfolded. The next day, the woodcutter led Hansel and Gretel deep into the woods. The siblings, with anxiety clinging to their every step, left a trail of white pebbles behind. As they reached a clearing, the woodcutter lit a fire, telling the children to wait there while he gathered more wood. Hansel and Gretel sat by the fire, their eyes flickering with uncertainty. When the woodcutter did not return, anxiety turned to panic. Hansel reassured Gretel, "We will find our way back home. Follow the pebbles." Guided by the glimmering trail, they traced their steps through the dense forest. The pebbles led them to the familiar site of their humble cottage, much to the dismay of their wicked stepmother. Enraged by their survival, the stepmother persuaded the woodcutter to try again, this time venturing deeper into the forest where the children couldn't possibly find their way back. This time, Hansel, having overheard their plan once again, decided to use breadcrumbs to mark their path. As they walked through the labyrinth of trees, Hansel dropped breadcrumbs along the way. But nature, unforgiving in its hunger, sent hungry birds to devour the breadcrumbs. The children found themselves lost in the heart of the forest, with no trail to guide them home. Days passed as they wandered aimlessly, their hunger growing more desperate. Exhausted and on the verge of despair, Hansel and Gretel stumbled upon a clearing, and to their astonishment, they discovered a house made entirely of gingerbread, cake, and candy. It seemed like a mirage in their hunger-induced haze. Ignoring caution, they approached the house, their mouths watering at the sugary aroma. As they took hesitant bites, an old woman, with a sweet but deceptive smile, appeared. She welcomed them inside, pretending to be kind, but in truth, she was a wicked witch who delighted in the taste of tender children. The witch locked Hansel in a cage and forced Gretel to perform chores, all the while feeding Hansel with delicious meals to fatten him up. Days turned into weeks, and the witch, eager to feast, decided it was time to eat Hansel. She asked Gretel to check if he was plump enough, demonstrating by leaning into the cage. Thinking quickly, Gretel pretended not to understand. The frustrated witch showed her, and in that moment of vulnerability, Gretel pushed the witch into the oven, slamming the door shut. The wicked witch met her end in a blaze of fiery justice. With the witch defeated, Gretel freed Hansel, and the siblings explored the house. To their astonishment, they found a hidden treasure of jewels and gold. Filling their pockets, they left the gingerbread house, determined to find their way home. Wandering through the forest once more, they encountered a white duck swimming in a large lake. The duck, sensing their need, offered to help them cross the lake on its back. Gratefully, Hansel and Gretel reached the other side, closer to their village. Finally, after a long and arduous journey, they arrived at their father's house. Joy and relief filled their hearts as they embraced their father, who welcomed them with tears of happiness. News reached them that their wicked stepmother had passed away, leaving the family to rebuild and heal. Hansel and Gretel shared their incredible tale of survival, adventure, and the defeat of the wicked witch. Their father, overjoyed to have them back, listened with a mixture of disbelief and amazement. With the treasure they had found, the family no longer knew hunger, and they lived happily ever after, surrounded by the warmth of love and the lessons learned from their extraordinary journey through the enchanted forest. Thank you for listening to our story. Remember to like and subscribe so you never miss another upload.